Life on Earth was said to have begun 3.5 billion years ago, and humans are thought to only have existed for about 6 or 7 million years.
We have always lived with our own traditions and cultures, staying in equilibrium, living in time with the Earth. And then all of a sudden, the world started becoming smaller. Not literally, of course, but technology made miles seem like inches, and hours seem like seconds. No more do we coexist with Mother Nature and all of her children. We own them. Modern life is not anything we could have imagined. Sea levels are rising past the extreme levels. Animal populations are disappearing at rates unimaginable to man. The oceans have become toilets that do not flush. Climate change is rapidly increasing due to bad decisions about our energy plans. The very nature of our planet, the one and only Earth, is now changing. It is predicted that by 2050, urban air pollution is set to become the top environmental cause of mortality worldwide. The number of premature deaths from exposure to particulate matter is projected to triple from just over 1 million today to nearly 3.6 million per year in 2050. And more than 40% of the world's ozone-linked premature deaths are expected in China and India by 2050. By 2050, global warming could create 150 million climate refugees. About 1/3 of global freshwater biodiversity has already been lost, and further loss is projected by 2050. Climate change will replace agriculture as the fastest growing driver of biodiversity loss by 2050. Already, the human impacts on our environment are starting to show. Glaciers are melting, lands are corroding, and the atmosphere is in a dangerous state. Our future is rapidly rushing up to meet us. Man was innocent until he discovered the difference between good and evil. When he was no longer oblivious of that knowledge, he became a fallen creature. We are not alone on this planet. We are part of a community, upon which we depend on absolutely. We're destroying the world because we are, in a very literal and deliberate way, at war with it, as author Daniel Quinn writes.
So what can we do about this? What can you do? We, to start off, need to educate. We need to educate everyone around us and tell them what's happening. Then, we need to take action. It's the journey itself that's going to change you, and the destination is the goal of equilibrium. Whether you're an adult or child, male or female, rich or poor, everything counts. There are so many things you can do, big or small.
Utmost important vital problems that we're experiencing right now are the need for sustainable energy of the future, because it determines the conditions of our children, and just the whole future of society depends on us and our decisions. And we really realized that we needed to confront this whole sustainable energy once the price of oil topped $147. These fossil fuels that we're using, they're obviously non-renewable as they're a finite supply, but also they're ruining our Earth. We're taking them from the ground and we're burning them. To confront this issue is we need to use our fossil fuels while we have them to build a more sustainable future by building wind farms, solar farms, just many grid regions. Well, some of the results of global warming are the melting of our ice caps, where 98% of the world's fresh water are located, which is a major problem as fresh water is a finite supply as well.
Well, partly the Arctic ice is melting and melting fast. What we've done with the air pollution and building up of greenhouse gases, we can't deny it, the planet's getting warmer. And the consequences of that are endless. One of the ones we're seeing right now is the Arctic ice melting. And of course that throws off the whole ecosystem. Just one little change in such a delicate habitat can kill many species, and we're seeing that. We hear that every day. We hear the polar bears are dying. You see the videos of the polar bears falling off the ice, and it's real. It's happening. And we have to change now for us to fix it. By 2050, Montana's National Glacier Park is going to be glacierless. So what's a glacier park without glaciers?
In Shanghai, the Environmental Authority last month weakened its air pollution standard to reduce the number of health alerts. Meanwhile, the central government has drawn mockery for recently classifying smog as a natural disaster. But when it's been severe enough to hamper air traffic, even some officials have to be wondering whether pollution could suffocate Shanghai's ambitions of becoming a global financial center.
I think another important thing about climate change that must be addressed is cities. Recently, the United Nations came out with a report saying that the fight against climate change will be either won or lost in cities. How humans and countries and non-state actors can begin to solve climate change, or at least address it. Perhaps a more comprehensive international agreement can be made, and kind of helping all countries to see past carbon-based economy, and perhaps beginning to ingrain more sustainable development initiatives in their own regions. So the way that cities are designed in the future, the way that people have the resources delivered to them in cities, the way governments use energy policy in cities will be a huge issue in the 21st century. In that case, individuals can use fewer resources, perhaps beginning to change the way that we live our lives and the modes in which we move ourselves and the way we eat. We could reduce our effect of climate change.
Right now, one of the biggest problems is overfishing. There's so many different sources of life in the ocean. There's so many fish and so many species and so many different animals, and we as one species seem to be wiping them all out. We are completely exploiting this beautiful source of life, and we are overfishing. We can't control what we're doing, and we're not just taking fish out of the ocean, we're taking all these other species, all these crustaceans and jellies and sponges are getting caught up in the trolling nets, and it's terrible. Tons of marine mammals are dying in these nets daily as we overfish our oceans. Mainly we need to spread awareness. Within our generation, it's our responsibility to take over this in a couple years. In a couple years, we'll finally get rid of the conservatives that are our parents, and it's our turn, it's our time to make a difference. We can't sit around anymore and say, oh, it's the government's fault, oh, the politicians need to take action. It's our time. And so we need to learn about this home, and we need to learn about our responsibilities for it. We can't just sit back anymore. We can't let people exploit and destroy our home. We need to speak up.
In your community or in your school, with your family or with your friends, do something on your own. Even the smallest thing has an impact.
I believe if I knew where I was going, I'd lose my way. I believe that the words that he told you are not your grave. I know that we are not the weight of all our memories. I believe in the things that I am afraid to say. Hold on, hold on. I believe in the lost possibilities you can't see, and I believe that the darkness reminds us
The International Coastal Cleanup, and we're picking up a lot of trash. What have you found so far? A lot of cigarette butts, some interesting stuff you wouldn't really normally see, like in all the seaweed. Right. A lot of plastic, so it's good for just taking it all up.
'Cause I have been where you are before, and I have felt the pain of losing who you are. And
Lots of cigarette butts and plastic and bottle caps. We found a cell phone, socks, and a comb.
Wow. And we found a pair of flip-flops in mint condition. Rope, some corn cobs, and a condom packet.
So why do you think we need to clean up the beaches around the world? Because I think as people, we don't have the right to destroy the other creatures' environment. We have to respect our world and respect the people or the creatures we share it with. So why do you think it's important to clean up the beaches around the world? Because if any animals eat them, then they, like turtles, birds, it could kill them. It could be deadly if they eat them or get wrapped around their neck or anything like that. Right. So what will you be doing around the future? Will you be doing this again? Yep. There are many dates for the ICC, and you can just come out to the beach on your own or in a group. It really helps. Every little piece helps. It's really fun too.
I've been where you are before, and I have felt the pain of losing who you are. And I have died so many times, but I'm still alive.
The weight of our cash was 3 pounds and 15.1 ounces. Okay. 7.8 ounces for recyclables and then 1.3 ounces for trash.
It is 5 pounds, 10.5 ounces.
It was 23 ounces. Mine was 12.5 ounces. It was 12.5 ounces. 12.4 ounces.
Pound, 9.5 ounces.
This is the beginning. This is not the end of me. This is the beginning. This is not the end of me. This is the beginning. This is not the end of me. This is the beginning. This is not the end of me. This is the beginning. This is not the end of me. This is the beginning. This is not the end of me. This is the beginning. This is not the end of me.
When do we want it? Now! What do we want?
This is the beginning. This is not the end of me. This is the beginning. This is not the end of me. This is the beginning. This is not the end of me. This is the beginning.
What do we want? When do we want it? Yes.
What if the storm ends and I don't see you? As you are now, ever again. A perfect halo of cold hair and lightning. Set you up against the planet's last dance. Just for a minute, the silver forest sky lit you up like a star that I will follow. And now it's found us, like I have found you. I don't wanna run, just overwhelm me.
2050 is our deadline before the consequences of our actions come back to hit us at full force. Already, global warming is causing unnaturally strong storms in places such as the Philippines and Japan. Millions of yet undiscovered species are threatened as a result of the loss of rainforests and the pollution of our oceans. Population will be at an all-time high by 2050, while each and every person causes irreversible damage. We will suffer losses that are presently unfathomable to mankind. World War III could break out over the clean water supplies or the last 100 barrels of petroleum. Entire populations could be decimated due to air pollution or rising sea levels. The year of 2050 will most likely be the last year that Earth can handle all of the abuse, neglect, and total disregard that humans put out before she finally crumbles. However, the future isn't totally grim. If we decide, right here and right now, to help our Earth rise up out of the man-made ash we nearly buried her under, 2050 may just be another year that life goes on, rather than the one that ends civilized life as we know it. Together, we will all be able to halt our actions before natural life on Earth goes extinct.
And I don't see you as you are now, ever again. perfect halo of gold hair and lightning. Set you up against the planet's last dance. Just for a minute, the silver forked sky lit you up like a star that I will follow. And now it's found us like I have found you. I don't wanna run, just overwhelm me.